Yo, they be psyoping me, dog. But my man Singe in the comments, he said, shit, dog, want, huh? Jeff Psy representing, step fool. I see right through you. Don't be bringing that psyop shit around here, you heard? Or something to that effect. We'll see what Singe Man said here in a minute, but I know he's got my back like that. So earlier today, I see this comment says, Jeff, I was curious if you saw the video of blue flame in Turkey with buzzing sound. What do you think? And so I Googled those words, and I found this video, which I replicated and made a video about earlier today. You'll see that it's a small channel, 250 subscribers, and I'll show you that most of his videos are all about race cars. But then I comment to Melly Bloom, who brought this to my attention, that I hadn't seen this until you mentioned it in the comments. Thanks for the lead. And I proceeded to make my video. And as I'm going through the comments on my video right now, Annie Freeze has removed her comments because that's where Singe Man busted her. So you can see here, Annie Freeze is nowhere on here. But I took some screenshots of her comment. And it's the same exact comment she left on this original video. Over here on this other guy's channel with the 250 subscribers, the original source of this blue flame video. It says, saw this a week ago, a definite do, just wondering if that's a fly on the window or a dot over the fire. And as you can see, Annie Free's comment is still over here on the original source video here at Pointer's Motor Supplies. Her comment is still up over here. Remember her comment, and Melly Bloom, 2 out of the 3 commenters on this video end up on my channel. Melly Bloom was the one who led me to this. Annie Freeze was the very first person to comment after I posted my video. The chances of this being random and these two not being coordinated and orchestrated is 1 in 14 billion or more. And I'll explain here in a moment. So here's the comment that Annie Freeze left on my video where Singe Man busted her, caught in the act. And she has since erased this comment because she knows we're hot on their trail. Same exact comment she left in the original source video of Pointer Motor Parts. Definitely a do. Just wondering if that's a fly on the window or a dot over the fire. I replied to her, the fly on the window is a good possibility, but with as much extensive documentation of these small black craft, I would tend to lean towards the idea that it's an actually in the air. Here's a video, and I linked to her, I gave her a link to a video by Custodian File showing the UAP dragons. And you can see Singe Man here said, Annie joined YouTube 3 months ago, 1 comment, no videos. This exact comment is from her on the original video's comment section. When she's replying to me right here, she says, I've seen those before in the air, so who owns these dragon drones? Thanks for the link. And she says in response to Singe Man, what? I just posted that, Goofy. It's called copy and paste. And she's right. She just posted this an hour ago. I'll show you that here in a minute. And she claims to have watched this video a week ago. So here she carries on a little bit more with Singe Man here. You act like a paranoid YouTube snitch. Replying to Singe Man. And I commented, nice catch, Singe. The other commenter on the original video, Melly Bloom, led me to this video earlier today by dropping the comment in my video, 26,000 Cars with No Glass, asking if I had seen the blue flame with the buzzing sound in Turkey. The channel has less than 300 subscribers, and 99% of his content is about race car auto parts. 0% chance that both of the commenters on this channel for that video also commenting and subscribing here. Clearly they wanted me to see that and led me to it. Thank you for your participation, Annie and Melly. So Annie has tucked her tail and ran. Here's my video. And Melly replies to this guy who's saying it's CGI. First of all, they're not speaking Turkish. And her husband or some man is laughing in the background with the kids just playing like nothing. Do you think if your town is getting fried like that, would everyone be so calm? This is amateur CGI. Someone says it's Brazilian Portuguese being spoken. And I say, you might be right about that. And then Melly chimes in, said, could you please tell us what you noticed that points to it being amateur CGI? I really do want to know, thanks, because I'm taking notes and improving the algorithm of the CGI AI development process and mapping out the human psyche. So could you please point to what it is that you see in this video that gives you the clue? She asked someone, do you know what they're saying? And they gave her a sarcastic response. Geez, oh my God, wow, make a call. And she replies, thanks, I really appreciate that. It helps a lot to know what they are saying. But as you can see, Annie Freeze has removed her comment thread. These two are working in coordination with one another. Annie Freeze was the very first person to comment on this video after I posted it. We're going to look at the timeline real quick here. This is from just a couple hours ago, earlier today, where Melly Bloom left her comment. I'm sorry, that was 16 hours ago. I could go give you the current timestamp. Here's the current timestamp. 21 hours ago is when Melly Bloom left this comment. Jeff, I was curious to know if you saw the blue flame in Turkey with the buzzing sound. Luring me, putting the bait in front of me to go over there and watch that video and make a video about it. Her comment over here on the original video is now 22 hours old. So within an hour after she left this message, this comment of where was this originally, TikTok or Instagram or what, she comes over to my channel and says, hey, have you seen this? Likewise, Annie Freeze, who said she watched this video a week ago, came back 1 hour. It was 1 hour prior to me uploading my video that she had left this comment. Okay, maybe it's 6. Anyway, the timeline doesn't add up. She would have had to have watched this video a week ago, and then she just happened to come back and leave this comment on the original. A week later, she comes back and watches this video again and leaves this comment, and then she's the first to comment on my video as I upload it. These two would both have to be my subscribers, Annie Freeze and Melly Bloom. 2 out of the 3 comments in this comment section. And I would say, what, does it need to be all 3? Do we need this other one, User KD, to come over and comment in my comment section for it to be a ringer and for you to know that this is a coordinated effort between them? These are not random users of the internet. Because this channel, other than the 2 most recent videos about the Maui fire and this blue flame CGI shit, it's all about race cars. Very little political anything in here. It's all about race cars. So Melly Bloom and Annie Freeze, they're just both really into race cars, and they both happen to watch this video and comment on it, and then they both end up over on my channel. One of them led me to this video. The other one was the first to comment after I had uploaded it and made it. And you might say, well, maybe they met in the comments section, and maybe Melly Bloom told Annie Freeze, hey, there's this guy's video. It's all on this channel. It's all about plasma fire. Maybe you should go over and check it out, and it explains what we're both looking at here. But then you would see that in this comment section. There is no such comment in here. So how did both of these 2 out of the 3 comments on this very small channel that now has 150 views on this video, earlier today it had 90. It only had 90 views and 3 comments, and 2 out of those 3 subscribers that commented are over there commenting on my videos. One of them led me to this. The other one was the first to reply after I made a video about it. Just the probability, the statistical chance of me and this random small YouTube channel about race cars that has nothing to do with our subjects do not overlap, the chances of us having one subscriber in common is 1 in 7 billion. The chances of us having 2 subscribers in common that overlap is 1 in 14 billion. Add to that they're 2 of the only subscribers that left a comment on his video, and the chances are 0 that these 2 are not coordinated. This is a tailor-made psychological operation directed at me. This video was posted 3 weeks ago. She said she saw it a week ago, but then she just came back and happened to comment on it today, the same day that her friend Melly Bloom went over there and led me to this video, and then as soon as I made a video about it, Annie Freeze is the first one to comment. I'm not going to beat this into the ground. We're going to move on to the fake aliens. The fake alien bodies that were presented in Mexico. So, assuming that you can see this is coordinated, that these 2 accounts are either bots or sock puppets or agents at these troll farms, either way they are coordinating their activities online. And it feels special to know that I had a tailor-made psychological operation created just for me. Not only did they go to the extent of creating this CGI video, they went and had some operatives lure me over to it. And it's almost like they intentionally left their trail in the comment section so that I would see how unlikely and impossible it is that 2 out of the 3 commenters in here are over there commenting on my channel. Not possible. Now the question is, who benefits? Why would they make a fake CGI video? And I've got a couple of theories, but the bottom line is who benefits from making the fakes is those who want to conceal the real. And you know on my channel there is a lot of real plasma fire evidence, 90% of which I took myself out in the field, driving long haul truck, pulling over the side of the road with my own camera. So, one reason they may be trying to bait me into this is to get me to say, do, it's lasers. So that when the upcoming laws are passed, like Klaus Schwab says, we need to stop these dangerous extremist points of view and curtail their speech online. Just like in C19, misinformation, disinformation, and malinformation was scrubbed from the internet. Anything that contradicts the WH and the O is misinformation, disinformation, and malinformation. And in the wake of the Maui fires, there's a whole lot of people running around saying, it's due, and it's the governor, and it's the police, and all of these dangerous extremist points of view and perspectives are about to be reined in. So they throw some bait in front of me to get me to say, well, yeah, that looks like do, and then they show you that it's fake, and that I was propagating and perpetuating these dangerous perspectives and points of view. They throw some fake in with my real evidence. But now let's talk about the fake alien bodies with skeletons. The same basic idea is true. Who benefits from putting fake alien bodies out there? Just like who benefits from putting fake plasma fire videos out there, particularly dropping it on my path, in front of me, trying to get me to pick it up? The people that are trying to conceal what is real are the ones who create the fakes and then come out later and prove that it was fake. Look at all the mockery. More mockery. More mockery. Now this video is 22 minutes long, and I will leave the link to it in the description. I don't want to get a copyright, and I don't want to go over the whole thing. But they do a good job and create a persuasive case. They make a good case that these alien skeletons that were presented in front of the Congress in Mexico a couple weeks ago are fake, done by taxidermists. And I'll give you a couple examples of what it is that they show using the x-rays that appears to debunk the alien fakes.
see one of the most important discovery of the 21st century. That the humanoid mummies from Nazca are just a simple fake.
One thing that they do is show that these bones, some of them are backwards. They claim that some of these bones are human baby bones. They say some of them are backwards. They say the joints do not fit together. Like here and here, that they are mechanically unsound. They're not fit together like a good joint, like a real human hand. And notice these bones over here. Oops. Notice the hodgepodge of bones that are here, just behind the wrist. That looks like it was intentionally created in order to be able to be debunked. Look at all those random bones just scattered about in the wrist. And
hand. For those of you who may not know, the human hand contains metacarpal bones that form the palm of our hand. The hand also consists of phalanges that form our fingers and thumbs. The mummy's fingers consist of human metacarpals and phalanges mixed together. Wait, what's that? Is this a metatarsal bone? It's a midfoot bone. It's followed by a phalange, then a metacarpal, then again by phalanges. Let's look at the articulation joints now. Look at this X-ray of a real human hand. The bones are fitted snugly to each other, arches to concaves, with few clearances. Otherwise, you'd have difficulty moving your hand. The so-called alien mummy's hand is all messed up. Concaves join concaves at random. And what's inside the hand? Very few joints, just a mess of stumps. And why is a human ulna there? The wrong way around, with its point facing the fingers. Let's examine the second hand now. Things look much better here. Inside the hand, we spot a tibia or shin bone, two metacarpals hanging loosely, some phalanges and other mishmash. Finally, his hand number 3. Looks even better. But the fingers are still a puzzling mix of hand and foot bones. Inside the wrist, we can make out 2 humeri or upper arm bones, 2 ulnae and 1 tibia that all seem to have belonged to a child. Amongst these, we suddenly find a border vertebra. Why on earth does it have to be here? Well, the vertebra. Why on earth does it have to be here? Well, just because. Let's now look at all the hands together. You get an impression that their creator was gaining experience with each subsequent hand. The first hand was a complete flop, but the forger was learning from their mistakes. But if these hands belong to creatures of one and the same species, then why are they so versatile? Look at hands of different apes. They may seem to have little similarity, but they always follow a single plan. And here we only see a total hodgepodge of stuff. The official mummy website says the hands are made up of 26 bones each. I counted them up, left to right, 31, 27, 24 and 26 bones. You can check yourselves.
now, if I had to say some of these are fake and some of these are real, the ones that are laid out straight are more likely the fakes, and the ones that are curled up in the fetal position are more likely real. He goes on to say that some of these are human hands that have just had a thumb and a pinky cut off to make it look like it's only got 3 fingers.
A hodgepodge of human and animal bones. Here's a mummy named Josephine. A real beauty. Instead of humeri, she sports femurs, or thigh bones. Her legs are even more baffling. One of the thigh bones is actually a femur, only facing the wrong way around, while the other one is a tibia. And they are completely mismatched. With the hip bone, there's no joint there at all. The poor humanoid wouldn't have made a single step. Some of the bones are simply chopped off. Note this asymmetry here. The fingers are a total mess too. The first pseudophalanges are facing in different directions on her left and right hands, with the white part facing up or down. Well, they just forgot to turn them the right way. Stuff happens. And look at this alien head. French paleontologist Julien Benoit thinks that those who crafted the small humanoid mummies used skulls of some small mammals for their heads, such as a llama or alpaca. Comparison shows that the reptiloid's cranial cavity fits perfectly the cranial cavity of a llama. The location of the olfactory bulbs, the inner ear, the brain hemispheres, and the cerebellum precisely matches those in a llama skull. The whole facial part of the skull was broken off, leaving only the brain case. The skull was then rotated, so its back part faces forward. The reptiloid's face is actually the back of the poor llama's head. What kind? Master, where do we attach the backbone? What? Onto the forehead? How many times should I tell you? This creature has no analogues in terrestrial fauna. Do as you're told. The grave diggers may have gotten one of these mummies for themselves, but the fingers were a bit too many, so they just chop off a few, thanks paleontologist Rodolfo Salas Gismondi of the New York Museum of Natural History. Maria lost her thumbs and pinkies. Then some flesh on the palms of her hands was shaved off to make the remaining fingers look longer. Salas Gismondi shows this on an X-ray of a real human hand. Hang on! A human being has 3 phalanges in each finger. 1, 2, 3. Maria has 5 in both her fingers and toes. We already know that Peruvian forgers show great skills in hand reconstruction. Let's have another look at the feet X-rays. Flavio Estrada Moreno, criminal forensics expert from the Peruvian Institute of Forensics, examined Maria's feet X-rays and spotted finger bones in them. But does it really matter what bones to use to make the mummy if the... At least this... What you're saying is nonsense. Yes, bones can be faked, but tissue structure cannot. How can you fake the DNA? We have histological and genetic data to back that. It's a serious argument. Luckily, we can also use histologists and geneticists' help, including the geneticists who have analyzed mummies before. Together, we'll try to work out what we can learn from Nazca mummy tissue examination. We'll talk about this in the next part of our investigation.
Link is in the description to watch the entire video by Scientists Against Myths, who've made a very good case that these are fraudulent. But then you gotta ask the question, who benefits? Why would someone go to such great lengths to create these frauds, even so far as to take up the time of the Congress in Mexico? There's got to be some sort of law against that, like contempt of court, wasting the time of the court, defrauding the court, when you take this type of evidence in front of Congress, no matter what country you're in. Who benefits from creating the fake aliens? Anyone who wants to conceal the real and discredit those who are producing the evidence. Just like the same boy who cried wolf syndrome, when someone creates a fake CGI plasma fire and then goes and throws it in front of my path and leads me over to it, and in that fake CGI plasma fire the guy says laser at the end of it. Maybe they're getting ready to scrub all of the internet videos of people that say do and laser because officials in Hawaii are feeling unsafe because there's a contingency of the population out there who has it dead set in their mind because they've received malinformation, misinformation, and disinformation about the fires. Which is why you won't hear me saying, I've got plenty of videos saying that I believe 99% of what we see in regards to these plasma fires is a natural release, geomagnetic induction. And I concede that in some cases it's absolutely directed, like those 5 Secret Service vehicles of Joe Biden's that got smoked hours after they got returned to the Hertz rental. Other cases are suspect. Some cases are certain, like the 5 Secret Service vehicles, and because the other 90% of my videos that I've taken myself appear to be random release of this energy with no apparent target, I've said over and over again, I believe 90% of what we're seeing is a natural phenomenon, and that the powers that be would prefer people to think it's all directed rather than a natural phenomenon over which nobody has any control. Because then the people get out of control. So they want them to think it's directed, but once they start specifying who they think is behind this directed energy stuff, that's when they become dangerous, and we got to shut down the conversation and find these people with these radical, extreme, dangerous perspectives and silence them. That may be coming soon. That may be why they threw that fake in my path and tried to get me to go, yeah, laser, do. So let's try and lay off the laser and the do stuff. But as far as these mummies go, the same motive applies when you ask who benefits. Qui bono. That's Latin for who benefits. Makes me sound real smart when I say it. Who benefits from putting out the fakes? Those who want to conceal the real evidence and discredit the real evidence that exists in the mind of potential viewers who say, no, I got So then if I try and show someone once they see that that's a CGI laser fake, and I say, but I really do have lots of real images, they're no longer receptive to the information. The boy who cried wolf effect. That's who benefits from putting out these fakes, is those who want to conceal that which is real related to the fakes that are being produced. So let's just say the king of the psyops division, he commissions one of some taxidermists to make fake aliens. And he says throw a few extra bones in here and there so that when we take the CT scans and the x-rays, they're easily disproven. So he hires the taxidermist that creates the fake and then pushes it out into the public through the channels that he has. And then once it's got enough coverage and enough people are seeing it and talking about it, that's when he pays the third guy to come do the x-rays and the CT scans and prove that this is fake. That way, the general public is now dissuaded, and I think we all agree, well, I don't know if we all agree, but I think most of the truth community acknowledges that there are giant skeletons that have been found all throughout the world and all throughout the United States that have been concealed, like by the Smithsonian. And I saw a guy from National Geographic faked a giant skeleton, and it gained some traction. This is 15, 20 years ago. It was quite a while ago. And then he came out and acknowledged, no, it was fake. I just hoaxed it. That's a regular size human skeleton with some trick photography added to it to make it look like I'm standing next to a giant skeleton that I dug up out of the ground, but that's just a regular size human skeleton and a little bit of trick photography. Why would a guy from National Geographic come out and fake discovering giant skeleton? So that once that gets circulation in the mind of the public, and a person like you or me comes along trying to tell people that there really is giant skeletons and that the evidence and the photographs from all around the world are overwhelming evidence that this is true, they say, no, it's all hoax. The guy from National Geographic admitted that he was just faking it. That's why they would fake giants. That's why they would fake aliens. That's why they would fake plasma fires, is to confuse people, to muddy the waters, and discredit those who do have the real evidence. And when it comes to plasma fire, viewers of my channel know that there is real evidence in abundance there. of an electricity-based fire that's been ravaging the entire world for the last 5 years, increasingly so every year, to the point where this year there's as much plasma fire around the world as there was in the last 5 years combined. People that go to my channel know there's plenty of real evidence there of a real phenomenon, so them throwing a fake in my path doesn't discredit the truth that I have already revealed and discovered. That's why I'm not afraid to be wrong or tricked. I've struck pay dirt enough times with real truth that when someone throws some fool's gold in front of me, that's fine. I picked it up. I thought it was gold. Turns out it wasn't. I still have plenty of real gold. And that doesn't detract from the real gold that I have. And that's another reason for doing it, is to discourage truth seekers from mining truth. Because you're afraid you might dig up some fool's gold. You're just not even going to dig at all. But what does it matter if you get a hold of some fool's gold and you think it's real gold and it turns out not to be? People use this as a reason not to dig and not to search at all, because of the humiliation and the shame that they'll feel if they get tricked and fooled. I've hit pay dirt, plasma fire, black dot craft, sun tunnel, airborne aircraft carrier, moon turning 90 degrees in the sky every night. I've hit enough pay dirt. I'm not worried about coming upon a couple of pieces of fool's gold, even if I'm fooled temporarily or longer, because I've struck pay dirt enough times. And I know that the truth that I've discovered cannot be discredited with any other piece of information to muddy the waters and convoluted evidence to confuse the conversation. And I suggest that you not be either. Don't worry about getting fooled. That's what they use against you to keep you from looking for the truth in fear that you might be tricked and deceived. And that's evidence that there is truth out there that people don't want you to see when it comes to the fake aliens, the fake giants, and the fake plasma fire videos.